It means the bandwagon for UKIP keeps rolling on. You remember when Mark Reckless first defected, the Conservative Party were very confident of taking the seat back. Well, he's no Douglas Carswell and this is no Clacton. If the Conservative Party had held this seat, they would have hoped it would have put a lid on UKIP, it would have stopped future defections, it would have stopped them getting more publicity. The fact that Mark Reckless has held on means UKIP can hope they will get more defections, the bandwagon and publicity will keep on rolling, they'll keep on being a factor running up to the general election. Everyone just assumed that in Clacton this was a victory for Carswell and he just happened to be standing on a UKIP ticket. Mark Reckless, for all I'm sure his own qualities, he's not the same sort of charismatic figure as Douglas Carswell. This looks like a victory for UKIP rather than a victory for Mark Reckless. Liberal Democrats, in a seat like this where the Liberal Democrats aren't in contention, don't stand a chance of winning, an utterly derisory share of the vote is normal to be expected and doesn't really matter for them. What really matters come the general election is how well they do in the seats they hold, because that's what they'll be doing. They'll be fighting to keep those actual MPs in areas they're strong. I think they're in a good position. They're to break through and pick up a couple more MPs if they can really do that groundwork. Because what we saw in Brighton is that Green success doesn't depend on nationwide success. It depends on real traditional pavement politics of breaking through and concentrating in a local area. The fact they've held on to this seat and hope they may get more defections is a good sign for that, but ultimately, come the general election, a lot of people will focus on the contest between David Cameron or Ed Miliband. At the end of the day, those are the only two men who are going to be Prime Minister, and that will squeeze people towards those two parties. So while UKIP are up in the mid-teens now in terms of vote share, there's still an expectation they'll be squeezed come the general election.